I want to share with you today some thoughts I had on the blameless, continuing from where we were last week. And I wanted to start in Psalm chapter 26. So join me in this journey this morning, or morning my time, wherever it is your time. God, thank you for your love and your kindness. Grant us your mercy yet again today. Thank you for being who you are. And give us some insights, I pray, this morning. It's just interesting when we look at this word blameless, because blameless does not mean without sin. It means without accusation. It does not mean without sin. It means without accusation. So who's the accuser? We're going to come to that yet, but I want to share with you some thoughts from a counterpart of mine called David in the Old Testament, and most of you are familiar with Psalms. So Psalms was found about halfway through the Old Testament, the first part of the Bible, and if you look up Psalms chapter 26 with me this morning, I just want to deal with verse 1 if we can. So look up chapter 26 and verse 1. And here's what it says in the NIV, New International Version of the translation. Vindicate me, Lord, for I have led a blameless life. I have trusted in the Lord and have not faltered. Vindicate me. Vindicate. Vindicate means to clear somebody of guilt and blame. That's what it means to vindicate. Now notice who's doing the vindicating here. It's not anyone. I can't vindicate myself because there's an accuser of me, and I can't defend myself, in fact, in the spiritual terms of what we're talking about today. Vindication here is done by one person only, and that is God. God, vindicate me is what David's crying out. He's saying, vindicate me. And it's a cry. Vindicate me, Lord. Why is it a cry? Because we need convincing that my slate is clean. I need to be convinced that my slate is clean. You see, my life is so sin-stuffed and not faultless that I need some relief from that, and I need to know that there's somebody in the universe that's looking at me and saying, you are precious, you're important, and there's nothing that stops this relationship that we have, this friendship that we have between God and myself. So when David's crying out here, he's saying, vindicate me, Lord. Vindicate me, Lord. Lord is just another word for boss, the boss of bosses in this case. I have led a blameless life, for I have led a blameless life. Wow. You know some of the stories of David, and yes, he had some incredible conquerings, but he has some incredible failings too, and that's a subject for another day. But how do you say, for I have led a blameless life? A blameless life, man, that's that's almost laughable. If I said to you, I've led a blameless life, you go, what? You're kidding me, right? And I go, no, I've led a blameless life. But there's a serious part to this. How do we say that we've led a blameless life? Somehow blame is not attached to the sinfulness, the mistakes and the faults that I have. Somehow blamelessness is not attached to that. Vindicate me, clear me of blame. Lord, clear me of blame. It's a cry. For I have led a blameless life. There's his justification. He's saying, God, I've led a blameless life. What I'd like you and I to get to this morning is to say that piece. But let's continue. I have trusted in the Lord. I have trusted in the Lord. Dave goes from saying, "Vindicate me, Lord," speaking directly to God, to now speaking to God in the third person. "For I have trusted in the Lord." Lord, vindicate me because I have trusted in the Lord. He loses this connection here at this point and going, I'm talking to you, God, but now I'm just talking to the other guy that's talking to you. Yeah, okay. It's not easy to do this because when I say to God, when I'm talking directly to God, it's not even easy in my humanity, in my humanness, to talk directly to God. It's something that God desires from us, but it's not something that's easy for us to do. So if you're struggling with that, you're not alone. I too, struggle with speaking directly to God. However, he does say, "Come boldly to me. Come boldly to my throne and talk to me." "I have trusted in the Lord and have not faltered." So somehow David here is tying blame, or the lack of blame, the blameless life, to trusting in the Lord. So how does that work? How does trusting in God relate to living the blameless life? So somehow, let's look at it this way. If I lived a blameless life, or I am without accusation, God, I'm without accusation. Why? Because you are not accusing me. You are the most important person here in this situation, in this blame issue, and you are not accusing me. So therefore, I have led a blameless life. Now, he's saying specifically here, "I have trusted in the Lord and have not faltered." I have trusted in the Lord. I have as in past tense. To this point, this is my argument, God. Up to now, I have trusted in you. But I've trusted in you, Lord, that you have taken care of the blame situation for me. That's the difference. I've trusted in you that you have taken care of the blameless situation. Not that I'm without sin, but you have been faithful in not accusing me. You see, the other guy, he wants to accuse God and say, you're just counting these guys free from sin. And God's going, "No, I just don't hold them accountable for it. I don't hold them to account." Why? Because of what I did for them. And that's the salvation story. What I did for my kids is a salvation story. It's the value, it's the crux, it's the good stuff. What Jesus did on the cross is the good stuff. And it's because of that he has the authority to not hold us accountable and to not blame us in this scenario. And here David has got enough relationship with his God to say, "I have trusted in you, Lord, in thee, Lord," he says here, "and have not faltered." See, I want to think that I falter. I want to somehow bring it back to me again and again. Right? I'm so egocentric. It's about me, right? It's about me. It's about you too. We think it's somehow about us, but this is a battle going on in non-earthly places. We'll talk about that another time. This is a battle that's not happening here. The battle that I have is simply to trust God, that he is faithful to not accuse me, to hold me blameless. He is faithful. This is an attribute of God now. I'm recognizing this about you, God, that you are faithful. You never switch your story. You are faithful to always hold me blameless and to never accuse me. What a wonderful friend to have, somebody who'll never accuse you of your failings. It doesn't mean he doesn't know them. Jesus, God knows every fault that I have. He knows every hair on my head. And that's saying something. And he keeps track. I lose a few and he keeps track. Not because he's that interested in how many hairs I've got on my head, but he's that interested in me that he knows everything about me. So if I think that he's just ignoring my sin, no. He's not doing that. He's just not accusing me. What a friend that is. I want to talk to that next week about what a friend it is that they wouldn't accuse me. What a good friend of my failings that I have in that relationship. David ends up with this. He says, I have not faltered. I have not faltered. I have not faltered does not mean I have not failed you, God. I have just not faltered in my trust that you are not accusing me. I have not faltered in seeing you as not blaming me. I have trusted you for that. Now, trust is a difficult thing. Trust is earned. It's on a scale. There's variations of trust from 0 to 100%. We never hit 100% trust. And faith is very much about trust. Faith is a lot bigger than trust, but I have trusted, David says, that you have not accused or blamed me. And that's why I can cry out to you, vindicate me, God. Be my advocate. Let people know that I am blameless. And here's what I want us to be able to say today. I trust you, God. I trust you that you will continue to vindicate me. I'll trust you in the story that you told. I'll trust you. And I want to take this out of our heads now and hit into our hearts. I want God you to let people know. Let them see that this is not just a piece of knowledge. This is something that actually can hit our hearts. It can transition from my head to my emotions, from my thinking to my emotions. And that's a very important piece of the puzzle that the Bible talks about, is how to connect with your emotions. But that's a subject for another day. Can you say with me today, I am trusting you, God. I am trusting you that you have not blamed me and you never will. And vindicate me, God. If you've never prayed a prayer of letting God take over your life, I just ask that you would pray that prayer and give your life to God. And pray this prayer with me. God, you have never accused me. You have held me blameless. I want to trust you. I'm brand new to this, God. I want to trust you that you do not accuse me of all the faults that I know that I have. I want to start that journey with you, God. Would you take my life and lead and be the focus of who I am and what I do? I give that over to you today, God. And if you've prayed that prayer for the first time, I pray that you'll find a congregation at church, a support group, that will walk you down the journey of getting to know God and understanding how you can trust Him for so much. And if you've been a Christian for a long time, and maybe even a short time, and you just need to remember, you need reminding today, and you want to cry out to God, just vindicate me, God, in front of my other accusers. Vindicate me, and I want to trust you.